Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast with your hosts, Reese Downing and Jacob Workman.
What's going on, guys? It is TNT Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast, NFL edition, week 10. Flying through. As always, with me is fine citizen, Mr. Jacob Workman. Jake, how's it going, brother?
It's going good. Trade deadline didn't go exactly how I wanted, but we got some help. I wish it would have been a little more help, but that's what we have. And set us up for a season next year with Darius Smith and Aiden Hutchinson together. So it'll be pretty nice for next year too.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. We're going to cover the trade deadline and how all that shook out today. That ended at 4 p.m. So we'll cover that here in just a second. But first, let's cover records from last week. Jake finished 8-7. I finished 7-8. Both of us missed our locks and our dogs. Jake's total for the year is 73-63. Mine is 64-72. How did Vegas do last week?
So the favorites actually were killing it. The NFL favorites were 12-1 on Sunday straight up. The only team that was a favorite that lost were the Saints. The Commanders are the first team to clinch their season win total. Their season win total was only 6.5. They've already gone over that. Best teams against the spread right now. The Lions are 7-1. The Commanders are 7-1-1. The Colts are 7-2. Steelers and Vikings are both 6-2, and the Chiefs are 5-2. And just a little bit of a interesting stat here. One of the best cover runs of all time for the Lions. The Lions are 40-15 against the spread in their last 55 games since the middle of 2021.
Damn. Well done, Detroit. That's a culture change is what that is.
Exactly.
Yeah, good win for the Lions last week. Let's jump into the trade deadline roundup here. We had quite a bit moving. A couple of them came in at the last second. 4 p.m. was the deadline, 4 p.m. Eastern. Panthers wide receiver Jonathan Mingo has been traded to the Dallas Cowboys for some reason, along with a 2025 seventh rounder in exchange for a 25 fourth round pick. Earlier that last week, among Panthers wide receivers, Deontay Johnson obviously was also traded to Baltimore. So there's not a whole lot of pass catchers left in Carolina. Bears running back Khalil Herbert has been traded to the Cincinnati Bengals in exchange for a 2025 seventh round pick. Browns defensive ends, Darius Smith, we just talked about. He has been traded to the Detroit Lions, along with a 26 seventh rounder in exchange for a 2025 fifth and a 2026 sixth round pick. Saints cornerback Marshawn Lattimore has been traded to the Washington Commanders, along with a 2025 fifth round pick in exchange for a 2025 third, fourth, and sixth round pick. So Saints got quite a bit of draft picks out of that one. Jets wide receiver Mike Williams has been traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for a 2025 fifth round pick. Broncos pass rusher Baron Browning has been traded to the Arizona Cardinals for a 2025 sixth. Vikings offensive tackle Cam Robinson has been traded along with the 2026 conditional seventh round pick to Jacksonville in exchange for a 26 conditional fifth round pick. Rams cornerback Tre'Davious White, who just recently got the okay to seek a trade, has been traded to the Baltimore Ravens along with a 2027 seventh round pick in exchange for a 26 sixth. And rounding out here, we've got the Packers outside linebacker Preston Smith. He has been traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for a seventh round pick. And Texans defensive tackle Khalil Davis was traded to the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for a 2026 seventh round pick. Jake, you got any thoughts on all the movement or lack of movement that happened today?
I mean, no. Commanders obviously getting better with Lattimore. I think that's a pretty good trade for a team that's contending. Obviously the Lions, I think Darius Smith is big for us with the Aiden Hutchinson injury. I don't understand the Cowboys at all. Like I truly don't understand that. It just continues along with their season, I guess. But but overall, it's kind of about what we expected going into it. Really, no real surprises.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Dak said it perfectly on the sidelines in that Atlanta game. We fucking suck. Next up here, Saquon Shuffle. We got a little video here to play for you here. Pay particular attention to the sidelines here, both number 90 and number 32's reaction at the tail end of this clip. Yeah, one of the most incredible football moves I've seen since I began watching football as a kid. Insane what Saquon does. I believe that's not the first time that he's done a reverse hurdle, but one of the more athletic plays that you're going to see. Saquon being Saquon. It was very, very impressive play. Moving on here, New Orleans Saints have fired head coach Dennis Allen after their Week 9 loss to the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers started the season hot at 2-0, but have now lost 7 straight and have fallen out of competition in the NFC South. Darren Rizzi will be the interim head coach. Jake, I think there was a comment that was left in our NFC South preview show you want to address?
Yeah, some guy was talking shit about me picking them to only win. I forget what I picked them, maybe 5 games or something. I had him, and he was talking about how it was insane and how they were going to definitely win more and who my team was and all of this, which clearly if you'd have listened, you would know who my team was. But my team seems to be in pretty good shape, and your team, everyone hates the quarterback. Chris Olave's dad is like talking shit. Michael Thomas is talking shit about Carr. And the coach is gone. So enjoy your shitty season in New Orleans.
Oh man. Yeah. For what it's worth, I do think Derek Carr handled the question about Michael Thomas's comments pretty well. But all that said, yeah, it's not looking too good in New Orleans. They started hot to begin the season and they have fallen off a cliff. Bills safety Mike Edwards has asked for and been granted his release from the Buffalo Bills. So he is now a free agent and can sign with any team. The Las Vegas Raiders have fired offensive coordinator Luke Getsy after their most recent loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. They have hired Norv Turner as an assistant to help with the Raiders offense, while his son Scott Turner is also going to take on a larger role. So it's going to be the Turner clan is going to be running the offense in Vegas. Denver and outside linebacker Jonathan Cooper have agreed to a 4-year extension worth up to $60 million. $33.1 million of that is guaranteed. Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, despite thinking that something's going to happen sooner than later, Daboll is sticking with him. He says nothing's changed. He is going to remain the starter. So we will see Danny Dimes under center for the foreseeable future, at least through next week. Getting caught up on a bunch of injuries here, starting with my team. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is likely headed to IR and expected to miss several weeks after suffering a hamstring injury versus the Falcons on Sunday. They don't really have a timetable for his return, so we'll see how that shakes out. 49ers running 49ers, God damn it. 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey is back at practice after missing the first 8 games of the season, is eyeing a return this week against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Great news for fantasy players that picked him as their first pick. You finally get some points out of him, hopefully. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco is targeting a late November return from IR after missing the last 6 weeks with a fractured fibula in week 2. Falcons wide receiver Drake London left Sunday's win against the Dallas Cowboys early with a hip pointer. He's having more tests done to determine if he'll miss any time. Bengals running back Zach Moss is dealing with a neck injury, and he is going to be out through at least the rest of the regular season. Meanwhile, wide receiver T. Higgins, who's been dealing with a quadricep injury, is doing everything he can to be ready for Thursday night's matchup against the Ravens. So we'll see if he gets to start. Texans defensive end Jerry Hughes and cornerback Jeff Okudah are both set to return from IR, so that's good news for the Texans defensive front. Titans quarterback Will Levis is hopeful to return this week, which is not good news for the Titans offense. While Lloyd Cushenberry and Quandre Diggs are both headed to IR, with Diggs' Lisfranc injury, I believe, is going to be a season-ending one.
I would like to throw in that Jeff Okudah returning for the Texans is more of a benefit for the Lions who play them this week than it is for the Texans.
Yeah, fair enough. And finally, from an injury front, Steelers running back Cordell Patterson is eyeing a return to practice this week after being out since week 4. All right, guys, let's jump into some week 10 picks. Our Thursday night matchup features the 4-5 Cincinnati Bengals as they travel to Mobtown to face off against the 6-3 Baltimore Ravens. Thursday, 8:20 p.m. kickoff on Amazon Prime. Bengals are looking for their second straight win after beating the Raiders 41-24 in Cincy, while the Ravens stay at home after getting a 41-10 victory over the visiting Denver Broncos. Over under in this one is 52.5. Baltimore is favored by 6.5.
Yeah, I mean, this one's a tough one to start. Jesus. At the beginning of the season, clearly I picked Cincinnati. It's tough to pick them in this spot. God. I'm going to go give me Baltimore. Give me Baltimore minus 6.5.
Yeah, I went back and forth on this one. This is going to be an awesome matchup. There was a great game in week 5 against these two. I'm hoping for the same thing. I think the Ravens are going to get the W here, but I'm going to go with Cincy to keep it close enough to cover. The first of our Sunday matchups is the Battle of Munich as the 2-7 New York Giants take on the 2-7 Carolina Panthers. 9:30 a.m. kickoff at Allianz Arena in Munich, Germany on NFL Network. The Giants hit the road, are looking to avoid their 5th straight loss after a 27-22 loss of the Commanders, while the Panthers look to gain some momentum while sticking, not really at home. They're heading to Germany, but they're trying to look for their second win of the season after getting a win over the plummeting New Orleans Saints last week. Over-under in this one's 41.5. Giants are favored by 5.5.
I would be so pissed if I was German. I would not want to watch this at all. It's a good thing that they go and they sing the songs and they really get into the atmosphere more than probably the game, because this game is ass. I'm going to take the Giants minus 5.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to take the Giants, but this is a wonderful way to torture the Germans with some football.
Good Christ. Could put the wiener schnitzel all the way through my ass before I'd rather watch this. This is awful.
All right. 12 minutes on the dot. We went to an R-rated show. I love it. Carolina's basically shipped out everyone who knows how to catch a ball. So that's not going to bode well for Carolina. So I'm also going to take the Giants.
I'm sure Bryce Young loves that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's Bryce Young's fault.
Yeah, right.
All right, our 1 p.m. slot kicks off with the 2-7 New England Patriots as they head Chi-Town to face off against the 4-4 Chicago Bears. 1 p.m. kickoff at Soldier Field on Fox. Pats are 1-4 in their last 5, continue their road trip after an overtime loss to the Titans in Nashville, while the Bears return home from Arizona after a 20-point loss against the Cardinals. 38.5 over-under. Chicago is favored by 6.5.
That's embarrassing. I'm going to take the Patriots. I don't think either one of these teams can win a game by 7. So I'm going to take the Patriots plus 6.5.
Yeah. Okay. You're so taking the Patriots. This game's a tough one to pick just because both of these teams are playing like garbage. I think it's going to come down to who wins the turnover battle, but I'm going to give the nod to the Bears being at home. So I'll take Chicago here to win and cover. Next up, we've got the 7-2 Buffalo Bills heading to Circle City to battle the 4-5 Indianapolis Colts. 1 p.m. Eastern at Lucas Oil Stadium on CBS. AFC East leading Bills hit the road and look for their 5th straight win after beating the Dolphins by 3 at home, while the Colts return home and look to avoid their 3rd straight loss after an 8-point defeat at the hands of the Minnesota Vikings. 46.5 over under. Buffalo is favored by 4.5.
Yeah, it's back. Flacco was not that great looking last week. That's what concerns me in this one. I do like the Colts at home, but God, Flacco's got to be better. I'm going to go with Flacco not having back-to-back terrible games. I'm going to take the Colts plus the 4.5.
Yeah. Flacco's just, I don't know, man. Flacco didn't look good last week, and I don't know what the problem is. The Colts rush defense is also not good, so that should open up some opportunities for Josh Allen and Cook. I'm going to go Bills here to win and cover. Next up, we have the 6-2 Minnesota Vikings heading to Duval County to face off against the 2-7 Jacksonville Jaguars. 1 p.m. at Everbank Stadium on Fox. Vikings hit the road after a 21-13 victory over the Colts in Minnesota, while Jacksonville returns home after suffering a 5-point loss at the hands of the Eagles in Philadelphia. 47.5 over under. Minnesota is favored by 4.5.
Yeah, Jacksonville had the offense come to life a little bit later in that game. They're returning back home. I wish Minnesota would ever play someone worth a damn. That's the problem. I'm gonna roll with the home team here. Give me the points. I want Jacksonville plus 4.5.
Yeah, Vikings stopped the skid last week. It'll be another week back for TJ Hawkinson, so another weapon for Sammy D. I'm gonna go the Vikings here to win and cover on the road. Next up is an AFC West battle as the 5-4 Denver Broncos head to KC to battle the 8-0 Kansas City Chiefs. 1 p.m. kickoff at Arrowhead on CBS. Denver continues their road trip and looks to shake off a 41-10 loss to the Ravens in Baltimore, while the Chiefs remain undefeated after an overtime victory over the Tampa Bay Bucks on Monday Night Football. 41.5 over under. KC is favored by 8.5.
Yeah, Denver's defense can only get them so far. Bo Nix and the Lemmy Winks offense, I don't think is going to be able to handle Spags' D. So I'm going to take the Chiefs to actually get the cover here, minus 8.5.
Lemmy Winks and Spags, just dropping bombs. I love it. This is the first early game for KC this season. Broncos are 3-2 on the road. Spread's a little bit concerning, but I'm going to go KC here to win and cover at home. Another week with D Hop and Pat working well together. All right. Next up is an NFC South showdown as the 6-3 Atlanta Falcons head to the Big Easy to match up against the 2-7 New Orleans Saints. 1 p.m. at Caesar Superdome on Fox. Atlanta hits the road looking for their third straight win after a 6-point victory over the Cowboys in Atlanta, while the Saints return home with a new head coach and try to avoid 8 straight losses after a 23-22 loss to the Panthers in Charlotte. 46.5 over under. Atlanta is favored by 3.5.
Yeah, we talk a lot about that bump, like when the coach gets fired, you get that 1-game bump. I don't think it matters this time, though. I'm going to take the Falcons minus 3.5.
Yeah, first game with Rizzi as the head coach. Derek Carr didn't look good in his first week back against a subpar team in Carolina, and now he gets a Falcons team that's been playing pretty well as of late, especially straight up on the road. I'm going to go Atlanta here to win and cover as well. The 4-4 San Francisco 49ers head to the Gulf Coast to take on the 4-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 1 p.m. kickoff at the Ray J on Fox. Niners are returning from a bye, most recently beating the Dallas Cowboys in San Fran, while the Bucs have lost 3 straight. Look to avoid 4 in a row after an overtime loss to KC. 50.5 over under. San Francisco is favored by 5.5.
Yeah, this is a game I kind of wish I knew the injury situation. For the sake of picking this on a Tuesday, I'm going to take the Niners minus 5.5. But I actually like the Bucs at home in this one, but I'll take the Niners minus 5.5.
Yeah, I went back and forth on this one. Niners have the benefit of the bye, but they can't let this get into a shootout. Purdy's also been really lackluster on the road this year. 3 touchdowns to 6 picks, 56% completion rating. Baker Mayfield's been doing everything he can with this offense despite not having 2 of his major weapons. I think San Fran's likely to get the win, but I am going to take Tampa here plus the points to keep it close enough. 6-2 Pittsburgh Steelers head to our nation's capital for an interconference matchup as they face off against the 7-2 Washington Commanders. 1 p.m. kickoff at Northwest Stadium on CBS. Steelers returned from a bye and are looking for their 4th straight victory after most recently getting a 26-18 win over the New York Football Giants, while the Commanders return home looking for their own 4th straight win after beating the Giants themselves 27-22 in East Rutherford. 45.5 over under. Washington is favored by 3.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh has the D that can keep Daniels in check. I like Pittsburgh in this one plus the 3.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is going to be a real test for Jaden Daniels against this defense. It's only allowing roughly 15 a game so far this year. Pitt's also coming off a bye. A little bit of a tough one to pick, but I'm going to go with you here. I'm taking the Steelers plus the points to cover, if not get the outright W. The first of our 4 p.m. games features the 2-6 Tennessee Titans heading to Inglewood to battle the 5-3 LA Chargers. 4:05 p.m. kickoff at SoFi Stadium on Fox. Tennessee hits the road after claiming their second win of the season by beating the Pats by 3 in overtime, while the Chargers return to Cali after a 27-10 victory over the Browns in Cleveland. 37.5 over under. LA is favored by 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers in this one. That over under is interesting. 37.5. Good God. I just think the Chargers are a much better team and they'll be more physical against Tennessee.
Yeah, the 37.5 is a little surprising until you look at what Tennessee's done on offense and what the Chargers have been doing on defense. That defense looks legit. They're only averaging about 12.5 a game, killing it on the turnover battle. Herbert's been throwing less than usual, but he's protecting the ball. So let's go Chargers to win and cover here. Next up, we have the 3-6 New York Jets as they head to the land of the sand to take on 5-4 Arizona Cardinals. 4:25 kickoff at State Farm Stadium on CBS. Jets return from a mini bye and hit the road after an 8-point win over the Houston Texans last Thursday, while the Cardinals stick at home and look for their 4th win in a row after securing a 20-point victory over the visiting Chicago Bears. 46.5 over under. Arizona is favored by 1.5.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of this Arizona team. They're growing on me a lot. They're actually a pretty good team. I like the Rams hopefully to still be able to sneak out and win this division, but Arizona's kind of concerning because I think they're pretty good. For the Rams' sake, I hope the Jets win this game, but for pick and betting sake, I'm going to take the Cardinals minus the 1.5 at home.
Yep, I'm with you on this one. Arizona's looked good as of late, both sides of the ball. I still don't trust this Jets team, so I am also going to take Arizona here to win and cover. Let's get through this next one as quick as possible. Next, we have an NFC East battle. 6-2 Philadelphia Eagles head to Jerry World to face off against the 3-5 Dallas Cowboys. 4:25 p.m. at AT&T Stadium on CBS. Philly hits the road and looks for their 5th straight win after a 28-23 victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars, while the Cowboys return to Dallas looking to avoid their 4th straight loss after losing 27-21 to the Falcons in Atlanta. 41.5 over under. Philly is favored by 7.
Yeah, I can't pick. Dallas is almost in Carolina territory for me right now. I can't pick them for anything. I'm taking Philly -7.
That's rough, dude. It's just a little below the belt. I know we're hurting right now, but a little below the belt.
I'd like to see them play. Carolina might be favored in Carolina.
We're playing them in a couple weeks. That's the thing that's scary.
In Carolina?
Yes, in Carolina.
Oh, Carolina might be favored.
Yeah, I know. God damn it. Dak headed IR. Lamb's hurt. D can't stop a nosebleed. This team's going to look a little different, I think, when we get a lot of our key pieces back on defense, at least. Cooper Rush did perform pretty well when Dak was out last time, but this has all the trimmings of not being a good week for us. Unfortunately, I'm taking Philly here to win and cover as well.
Yeah, what are we doing, NFL? Why are these our 3-4 o'clock games this week? Like, this is a disaster. Like, what are we doing? No one wants to watch any of these fucking games. When the Jets Cardinals is the most entertaining game of the week, like, it's just an ass fest. Like, no one wants to watch this.
Yeah, I don't, and I'm a Cowboys fan. Our Sunday night football matchup may be the game of the week, though, as the NFC leading 7-1 Detroit Lions head to Space City to take on the 6-3 Houston Texans. 8:20 p.m. kickoff at NRG Stadium on NBC. Detroit's looking for their 7th straight victory and continue their road trip after a 24-14 win over the Packers in Green Bay, while the Texans return home from their mini-bye and try to right the ship after a 21-13 loss at the hands of the Jets in MetLife. 49.5 over under. Detroit is favored by 3.5.
Jameson Williams is back. Zadarius Smith hopefully will be in the lineup this week. I would assume so. And the Texans have some injury issues. So I think situationally, this is huge for us. I think at the beginning of the year, Houston probably would have been a little bit of a favorite in this game, probably 2 or 3 points. Obviously, the swing based on how we've been playing, it is back-to-back road spots for us, which is typically a shitty situation. But the way we're playing, I just don't see a team that can beat us right now. So I'm going to take the Lions -3.5.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Texans. I'm a fan of CJ Stroud. This game, I think, would be a lot more fun if Houston wasn't dealing with the injuries they're dealing with, especially on the offensive side of the ball. It's just going to be so hard to keep pace with this offense without Nico and Diggs out there. So I'm with you. I'm going to take Motor City here to win and cover.
I think there is a chance Nico could play. I think that he was brought back. I think his window opened this week. I don't, obviously they haven't said if he's going to play or not, but I do know that his window opened to where he could potentially play Sunday.
Yeah, I know his window open, but I don't know that he's practiced at all. So that's why I'm kind of assuming that he's not going to be in it, but you never know. He could be there. That will help out a little bit. Obviously they're not going to have Diggs, but he just, it's Tank Dell is the man with the plan right now. So if they can get Nico back.
And I hope to God that Jeff Okudah is on Jameson Williams, because Jameson Williams he won't even be touched the whole game.
be eating Waymo sandwiches on Monday or Tuesday.
If he has 3 touchdowns Sunday, then
are we getting a Waymo sandwich? Is that what's happening?
3 touchdowns in any way, rush, pass, or receive.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. All right, Monday night matchup. 2-6 Miami Dolphins heading to Inglewood to battle the 4-4 Los Angeles Rams. 8:15 p.m. kickoff at SoFi Stadium on ESPN. Dolphins continue their road trip and look to avoid their 4th straight loss after losing to the Bills by 3 in Buffalo, while the Rams return home and seek their 4th straight victory after getting a 6-point overtime win over the Seahawks in Seattle. 50.5 is the over-under. LA is favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I'm really thankful the Chiefs play at 1 o'clock Sunday, because with the Lions not playing until Sunday night and the Rams not playing until Monday night, this is going to be a pretty boring week for me, but I do enjoy the Chiefs games. So, Rams at home. Dolphins, obviously, they're starting to come back to life a little bit with situational injuries and stuff. But the Dolphins defense, I think McVay is just going to carve them to death. I don't think that defense is going to be able to hang with the Rams offense. So I am taking the Rams minus the 2.5.
Yeah, Miami's lost a couple close games as of late. They are turning it around a little bit with Tua back under center, but the Rams are on a 3-game streak. They're playing well at home. Cooper Kupp did not get traded, which was something that was kind of going on the past week or so. They were talking a little bit about the possibility of a couple of those pieces going. He's there. Hopefully Puka doesn't throw a punch at somebody and get thrown out of the game early. Either way, I'm sticking with Stafford and the Rams here to win and cover at home. Bye week teams this week: Cleveland Browns, Green Bay Packers, LV Raiders, and Seattle Seahawks are bye week teams. All right, Jake, it's your lock of the week.
My lock of the week is what we just talked about. The Rams at home, minus 2.5 against the Dolphins. Like I said, I just think that they're going to carve up the defense. I think the Rams offense is going to have quite the night in prime time here. So give me Stafford and the Rams.
I'm sticking in the same city, but picking a different team. I'm going to go with the Chargers over the Titans. This Tennessee team's just rough to watch. Chargers have been playing discipline on both sides of the ball, so let's go LA as my lock. Let those dogs out. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh going to Washington. Pittsburgh at 134. Like I said, I think their defense is enough to keep Daniels in check. And Russ, I think Russ is going to be able to do enough. He's starting to come around. I think the offense is getting better. Obviously, they did trade for Mike Williams. We'll see if he's able to go immediately into the offense and play this week also. I would assume so. So I do like the Steelers to go on the road and kind of slow down the Washington run a little bit here.
I like it. I like it so much. I'm going to pick the same game. I am also taking Pittsburgh over Washington. It's a bit of a gamble here, but Steelers are coming off a bye. They bring that tough defense, run game to Washington. Let's go Steelers to get the outright W this week. All right, guys. That is it for us for week 10. I did want to just very quickly here share this little comment. This is the comment that Jake wanted to respond to here. 4 wins for the Saints. Laugh face, laugh face, laugh face. Who is this guy's team? And then the guy doubled down and responded back to himself and said, "Absolutely foolish." What I really want to know is he the one who did the thumbs up?
Nope, I did.
Oh, okay, all right. Because that would have just been too perfect if that would have been him that have done that. Yeah, just. Unforgiven KD, if you're still listening to us, man, give us some insight on the comments here for this show.
Shout out to NBA J up there. How long this season before Young gets benched? That happened. And the Patriots have quarterback injury woes. That happened also.
And there are calls for Tom Brady to sign with the Panthers and the Patriots. It's going to happen. He had us in the first half. Yeah.
NBA J dropped a nice little prediction there.
Oh yeah, he was being loud and proud on this one.
He threw all kinds of nonsense out about everything that we didn't care about. But
he did a big swing and a miss on this first one. I'm thinking Tennessee may have flown under the radar this offseason and accumulated a nice starting team on both sides. I mean, I
agree with him in that though. They should have won like their first 4 games.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were a little high on Tennessee going, like they had some solid.
We said their schedule was too much, and it was. That's the problem. Yeah,
and Levis is just he's not been the answer this year. Yeah, it's been a rough go for both.
He's going to be on OnlyFans spreading mayo on himself in about 3 weeks. That's right.
Oh man. On that note, that is it for us. TNT
Reese has to go subscribe to the Will Levis OnlyFans, so he'll be getting off here.
Yes, exactly. That's what's happening. It's the first thing I'm going to do as soon as I sign off here. It's better than seeing what's happening in this election. Oh, all right, guys.
The only election I know is the college football playoff. I'm about to go check out and see who was nominated for that.
In about 23 minutes, the best damn team in college football is about to go play and beat Miami, Ohio's ass. So go watch Ball State. All right, that's it for us. TNT Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast, NFL edition, week 10. Like, share, subscribe. Go check out our college show. As always, we appreciate you guys listening, and we'll see y'all next week.
See everyone. Leave some comments for us.
Yes, please do. Cheers.